further than Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the leading over-under daily fantasy game. Why? Because it's so easy to use and win. You can make your picks in under 30 seconds and win up to 10 times your money in one day. Right now, we have a special offer for our viewers and listeners of the NBA Exchange. All you got to do is sign up now and use the promo code NBAEX. Prize Picks will match your first deposit up to $100. Yep, that's right. They'll match your first deposit up to $100. So, join the over 150,000 others who found a better way to play and download the Prize Picks app today. What's good, everybody? Wow, that came out of nowhere. Wow.
Remember we did that last week?
It did. I just didn't expect that. I didn't expect it from you. I didn't expect that from you at all whatsoever. But it is Brian. It is Dexter Henry. This is the Ain't Hard to Tell podcast, episode 220.
Yes,
coming
sir.
to you live. We want to do this one, a special one, because we are going to be talking about all these NBA awards. No, we are not talking about the All-Brian team. We are keeping violence, I think, out of this episode for the most part.
Until the playoffs
none
are
of
over.
that. Yeah, until the playoffs are over.
Gotta see how people, gotta see how people do all Brian shit in the postseason. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We'll see about that. We're not gonna do this one alone, though. We got our boys with us. First up, we got my man Jarod Hector. You see him with me every Wednesday on the NBA Exchange. You also see him on True Hoop. He joins us here now. Jarod, what's up, man?
Here we
go.
First, a couple things. Number one, the music was so loud. I felt like I was coming into like a hip hop studio. You know when like rappers always be like, "Yo, turn me up in the headphones." I'm like, "No, turn me down in the headphones." This shit is loud as fuck. Anyway, what's up, fellas? And second thing, I'm excited to be here. Am I still the number one returning guest in terms of appearances on this show? I better be. Y'all really messing up if I'm still not number one.
If it ain't you, it's Murph. It's one of y'all.
Yeah,
two,
it's you or Murph. It's you or Murph. And I'm disappointed. You talking about you hearing the music and it's all loud. After that, I'm expecting to hear some bars. We ain't getting no bars. Man, get out of here with all that. What is that? We ain't getting no bars at all. Let's see. Well, speaking of Murph, let's see if Murph, you're here with us. Murph, as you know, blackatologist, just came back from New Orleans. See his work on Andscape. Murph, you got some bars for us?
No bars. I'm sorry about that. I'm doing my best to hear you guys. Can you hear me clearly?
We hear you clearly.
All right, cool.
I'm sorry if the music was too loud and it burst the eardrum or two. But Jarod disappointed me with no bars, and someday we'll get some aggressive.
Wait, because when you come in and say turn me up in the headphones, bars have to come after that.
Got to. There's nothing else after that.
But I said turn me down in the headphones though. So I mean.
So whisper, give us some ad-libs or something. Something. I don't know. All right, we're going to talk NBA awards. This is going to be a lot to go to and rather interesting, right? Because I feel like some way Brian is going to vote for all his peoples anyway. You know who that is. Bam Adebayo for Defensive Player of the Year. We know how it is. But we're going to start off. Brian actually made the order for this. He tried to go from easy to hard. So he said, we're going to go with NBA Sixth Man of the Year first. Player who's played the best coming off the bench. I always feel like this is an interesting award to look at. Why don't we just start with Brian, since we already know where he's going on this? Brian, who you got for NBA Sixth Man of the Year?
Tyler Hero. Let's keep it moving.
Do you want to say why?
Most points off the bench, most assists off the bench, top 3 in threes, top 3 in free throws, impactful, better than John Hollinger thinks, et cetera, et cetera. We don't need to stay here for very long.
There's a lot of Hollinger hate.
Strays at John Hollinger. And there we go. Greg says what your team would be, and that looks pretty accurate. That looks pretty accurate.
Portis was a Sixth Man of the Year candidate for me last year.
Of course he was.
He started too many games this year.
Of course he was. Murph, are you keeping this as short as Brian? And who did you have for Sixth Man of the Year?
Yeah, I'm gonna ride with Brian here. I'm gonna go with his Miami Heat. I agree. Tyler Hero doing his thing. Bryan just gave all the stats, and I don't think this is a close one, really.
I'm with you. If we can speed this up, Jarod, do you have Tyler Hero the way I do as well?
Yeah, man, Tyler Hero. Let's keep it moving.
Yeah, Tyler Hero too. We got it. We got it. I don't think there's not much more that needs to be said about this. The only question that goes after this is how many other Miami Heat players did Bryan vote for this year in terms of All NBA and who knows? A lot. Yes, we can do. All right, moving on to coach.
I see what kind of show this is.
You should have known what kind of show it is. We're not gonna let this be a Miami Heat show. We did that on Friday. We ain't gonna do that now. NBA Coach of the Year. I feel like this is interesting. How people might vote on this. Jarod, who did you go with Coach of the Year, and why was it Taylor Jenkins?
I mean, you know it's Taylor Jenkins. Shout out to my Grizzly Cubs. You know that. Shouts to Monty Williams, by the way. Phoenix Suns did a hell of a job. Shouts to Ime Udoka, by the way. Celtics started, 10-12 or something crazy. Brought them all the way back to the 2 seed in the East. Shout out to them. But look, the Grizzlies over-under record was like 45 wins or whatever. They are the second best record in the entire NBA. Memphis Grizzlies. Respect.
Yeah, I mean, Jarod has been saying this for like 10 years.
I mean, I've been telling y'all Memphis been on. I mean,
not 10. I have a feel. Did you like grit and grind Grizzlies?
You know I don't like that kind of basketball.
Yeah,
Hell no.
See,
you know I don't play that.
It ain't 10.
Yo, Bryan, that's a good point. Grit and grind basketball does not vibe with Jarod. It definitely vibes with you.
Yes, you know that is against all of my sensibilities.
It does, but it depends. Like even they had like a little less shooting than I would want.
A little
shit.
So
couldn't score 85 points a night. God.
Tony Allen and Zach Randolph and Marcus Gasol wasn't shooting that well yet. And Mike Conley struggled in the playoffs when they were really good. So no, yeah,
that is true. Murph, who you going with for NBA Coach of the Year, and why is it Tom Thibodeau?
Yeah, right.
Wow.
Or Steve Nash. Don't forget him.
Oh,
but I'm gonna go Monty Williams. I know. When it's the brothers' turn to get an award, people come up with all these excuses talking about, they were supposed to be good anyway, and they just came from the finals. And, he didn't get it. He didn't get it last year, did he?
Nope.
No.
So I think he deserves it this year. And 64 and 18. Nobody expected all that.
Machine.
You know what I'm saying? Nobody really. I know I didn't expect all that. For them to just dominate the NBA this year, I got to give it to Monty.
All right, I can rock with that. Monty Williams, not bad. Bryan, who is your NBA Coach of the Year, and why is it Eric Spoelstra?
I knew it was coming. Well, my top three, Eric Spoelstra is in that top three. I thought they were going to be good, but damn, I didn't expect them to be that good considering all the injuries and COVID and things that they had to deal with. I thought they were going to get 50 wins. They did more than that and got the 1 seed, which I don't know if anybody saw coming, despite all the things they had to overcome in terms of injuries and changing their rotations and things of that nature. So I think Spoelstra was a wizard this year in terms of navigating that. Taylor Jenkins was the coach of who, for me, was the biggest surprise in terms of where I thought they would be to where they ended up, the Memphis Grizzlies. I thought they were going to be pretty good this year. I didn't expect second seed and clearly the second seed. I thought they were probably going to be in that 4 or 5 range, more or less. But they were a lot better than that and did a bunch of that without Ja Morant, which always has to be commended. And at least some of that has to fall on the head coach. So shout out to him. But I went with Monty Williams for some of the same reasons that Jamal had, because I thought Phoenix was going to be good. I didn't think they were going to be far and away clearly the best team in the league, basically during the regular season, easily. I feel like you got to give it to him this year. I thought last year he had a case as well, though I went with Tom Thibodeau. So Monty Williams gets it for me this year.
I'm fine with that. Okay, it's going to be split because I'm going with Taylor Jenkins on this too. I thought that Taylor Jenkins did an impressive job. I have no problem if Monty Williams wins this award at all whatsoever. And come on, Murph, we ain't hating on no brothers up here. That we are not doing.
The only thing I'll add about Monty is the team could have fallen apart with that DeAndre Ayton not getting paid shit.
Good point. That's a great point.
That could have been off the rails.
And the Sarver stuff at the beginning of the season.
Sarver stuff, right. So Monty gets a lot of credit for that.
Yeah, and he got a State Farm commercial this year. So shout out to him.
You got a State Farm commercial?
He's in that one. He's in that one where he's drawing his doodling on the sideline.
Yeah. Chris Paul's there. Yeah,
Chris Paul's there.
Put some respect on Monty Williams' name. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm going with Taylor Jenkins because I just feel like they were the biggest surprise for me what the Grizzlies did. Like Jarod said, a lot of people had them around. If they moved up to the 7th seed this year, people were going to say that was a great improvement. They exceeded that, far exceeded that. And I think the job that he did holding the team together, the identity without Ja Morant, that was for me. I like Taylor Jenkins, but look, man, we're going to keep it black. If Monty Williams wins, all good. I ain't crying for Taylor Jenkins. Let's put it like that.
Exactly.
Will not be crying for him.
No tears.
Shout out to Tyronn Lue as well. He
he deserves some love there too.
42 and 40 with that roster.
Tyronn Lue, Bickerstaff, JB Bickerstaff in Cleveland also deserves some love. Ime Udoka, I think somebody has said him too.
Yeah,
I think he definitely deserves some love there.
Better than your man Brad Stevens, Murph.
Who's responsible for him being there?
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Brad Stevens' success. What you talking about?
Oh, here we go.
Oh, man. Failing up to the front office. All right, moving on. NBA Rookie of the Year. This one I'm going to start with Murph because, Murph always has his eyes on the rookies. Murph, I'm actually really excited to see what you pick here because I feel like if you pick who I think you're going to pick, I'm going to just tell you right now, get at them. You know who it is. Get at the people that you need to get at with this. Who are you picking for Rookie of the Year?
Yeah, I think where it's going right here. I got to go Scottie Barnes, man. I was leaning Mobley most of the year. Then Mobley got hurt a little bit. It's very close. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to diss Mobley. Mobley may be the better pro moving forward. That's very possible. But I just think when you look at what Barnes has done, Toronto obviously is the 5th seed, and he has a lot to do with that. He's for a guy who's a zero. What was he? A 0 level scorer.
0 level scorer, bro.
He's even shooting 30% from 3. Better than Giannis. So you got to give him props there. So he's averaging 7.5 rebounds, 3.5 assists, 15 points. The kid is just, he's going to be something really, really special. He's just scratching the surface, still, 20 years old. He can do it all. But I think he's had the biggest impact as a rookie by a slight margin over Mobley. And in any other year, Cade Cunningham would be right there also because he's had a great year also.
Yeah, all right, definitely. Cool. The cool stuff there. Yeah, 0 level scorer. Ooh, people were wrong about that. Jarod, who do you have for Rookie of the Year?
So this is not unprecedented in the history of the Rookie of the Year award. I gave co-Rookies of the Year because we did that in 95 with Grant and Jason Kidd. So I'm going to do it again with Scottie Barnes and Evan Mobley. While I love what Scottie Barnes has done, and Coach Thorpe, shout out to Coach Thorpe on True Hoop, that's his guy. He is a big reason why the Raptors are what they're doing right now. And LeBron James and Kevin Durant both purposely shouted him out at the end of game saying, that dude's IQ for basketball is extremely high. When them dudes are giving rookies compliments, you real. However, the impact metric stats still say that Scottie Barnes is a net negative on the floor, whereas Evan Mobley is a full-on almost 2.5 points positive per 100 possessions. So, that shit still matters. I do think it's close. Cade, I love what Cade is doing. What I hope is that Detroit figures out how to put some things around him, because while he's doing good stuff, he's still an overall net negative on the floor as well. So we'll see what happens in Detroit, but I think that rookie class is going to be very, very good in the future.
Right, I do agree with that on the rookie class. Brian, who do you have for Rookie of the Year, and what obscure player at the end of the Heat bench is it?
It's definitely not Omer Yurtseven if you saw him against
Omer Yurtseven.
Yes. I think he'll be all right, but that's another story for another day. I, like Murph, slightly ahead went with Scottie Barnes, slightly ahead of Evan Mobley, and that's something that changed over the last couple weeks of the season. And I'm not somebody who usually reacts to finishing strong being the be all end all for the season, but it's not like Scottie Barnes sucked before that. I do think that he took over later on. Some of that is not even Evan Mobley's fault. As the Cavs were falling apart, they dealt with injuries. You saw, not that he was exposed, but without Jared Allen there, his job got very, very difficult. And Scottie Barnes was playing, on a team that was rising in the Eastern Conference standings, had a hand in where they are now, averaging 17, 8, and 4 since the All-Star break on 51% shooting. And the Raptors were 14-3 of their last 17 games. And for me, it's not like winning is the be all end all when it comes to Rookie of the Year, but it doesn't hurt, right? And for Scottie Barnes to be in the position he's in, he's a great two-way player. He has me thinking is he going to be in that sort of the way we see Kawhi and Paul George and Jimmy Butler and the elite two-way wings that we see now, is he going to eventually get to that level? And that's entirely possible. Evan Mobley, I love him, though. Like, he was probably my favorite rookie going into this class, and Scottie Barnes was up there as well. But Evan Mobley, I think, is still probably going to be the best player of this group. And I have no problem with him winning the award. I just give a slight edge to Scottie Barnes. I'm not mad at Jarod making this a tie either. I think that would be totally acceptable, and this would be a year to do it. But Evan Mobley is great. Like I said, fell off a little bit, I thought, toward the end of the year, but it's a very close race. And I think while Cade Cunningham is a distant third, he was showing you toward the end of the year, like, he can also be very special. So the top three players from this rookie class, they're off to really good starts. So
yeah, this was a damn good rookie class, which I think probably exceeded what people even thought. Thought it could be good, but it was really good. It's funny. You guys want to say, I did the same thing as Jarod. I said, I think this is the first time we're going to get a co-rookie of the year since 94, 95. And I think it's deserved. If you ask me, gun to the head, or as Brian likes to say, knife to the throat, because you got to make it messier, I do think I would give a slight edge to Scottie Barnes. But I think both of these guys actually have been so good, impactful for their teams and what they've done. And I'm with Murph on, I watched a little Scottie Barnes in the ACC, and he was even better than I thought. But this guy's like a Swiss Army knife. He can do everything. Nick Nurse had him playing the point at times, and he looked good. He looked good in control of the offense. He's running things. He never looks rattled. He's a very calm player that can do a lot. Brian mentioned the IQ. Oh, I think that was you, Jarod, talking about the players with the IQ, respecting him, those high-level players. I think that's fantastic. I like what I see about Scottie Barnes. He's fun to play. Murph, I'm sure you would agree, the shot's going to get better. I think it'll get better. He's shooting 30% from downtown as a rookie. That's fine. Not looking like a zero-level scorer. Mobley, big man, can step out, do everything. He's going to get better defensively, I think, too. Two really good rookies. I'm going to give him the co-rookie of the year because I just really couldn't decide. And, I know sometimes ties could be whacked. But
I will say this, and this is not a knock on Scottie. Don't give him all the credit for what Toronto's doing. I mean, Pascal Siakam's been playing like a monster.
Oh, no. Yeah, for sure.
I'm
not giving him all the credit, but I he's helped.
Oh, so for sure, 100%.
So to me, that matters also. Like if Cade was on a better team, maybe that would help him too. But I just don't think he has a case compared to those two.
I mean,
he also played 74 games too.
Yeah,
like
Cade's second best player is nowhere near
as
good as Pascal or Darius Garland, right? I mean, who's the second best player in Detroit?
Jeremy Grant, maybe.
But he's been out since January.
Right.
So
probably Sadiq Bey.
Sadiq Bey. Right. So
Sadiq Bey, who actually played pretty hard towards second half of the year. So that was good there. I see my man Omar checking in. Appreciate you watching us here on this live. All right, guys. The next one, which I find interesting too, NBA Most Improved Player. This is
where it starts to get hard.
Brian gonna start wilding.
This is a tough one. Brian, which Heat player did you select for this? And tell us why.
You're gonna do this for every goddamn award.
Don't worry. I got stuff for other people too. It's not just you. You gotta like Jarod's gonna get his licks too, and so will Murphy in some kind of way.
No Heat players there though. I do think Tyler Hero will wind up on some ballots, and justifiably so. This was very tough. I have a couple rules when it comes to Most Improved Player. Me personally, don't like voting for top 5 picks. I went on this rant before about Brandon Ingram winning it, and others before him, et cetera, especially if they're in the first few years of their career where it's like, all right, we knew that, or we expected him to be this, and now he's this, so we're just going to give him Most Improved Player. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So under that logic, no John Morant, no Darius Garland for me. I don't think that they qualify for me in terms of what I'm looking for Most Improved Player. Like, no, because they're just developing at a rate that, they were supposed to some degree. Desmond Bain was my second place guy. And typically 2-year jumps is another thing where I'm like, all right, should we really do that? But his jump was pretty significant because he just did what he did last year, but in a bigger role and did it very impactfully. His numbers, he was 9 points a game last year, jumped to 18 this year on very similar shooting, 44% from 3, and about the same from the field, 46, 47. And his per 36 jump was 15, 8, and 3, from 15, 8, and 3 to 22, 5, and 3, or something along those lines. So it was 15 to 20, 15 to 22. So he's been very good. But I went with, for most improved player, Dejante Murray from the San Antonio Spurs, who became an all-star this year, who went from 16, 7, and 5 to 21, 8, and 9, per 36, 18, 8, and 6 to 22, 10, and 9. Went from just a high-level starter to a bona fide star. He's one of my favorite players in the league right now to watch. I think he's really good, and I think without him, the Spurs would be wherever the Lakers are, probably a lot lower than that because they just passed the Lakers late in the season. So Dejante Murray, most improved player for me. I think he's awesome.
Nobody wants to be with the Lakers are right now, sadly.
Trash.
I will say this already. Brian, we agree on this. I also was with Dejante Murray on this. This was also my pick. Loved what he's done this year for all the things you said, the increase in his numbers, but also how it impacted, I thought, the Spurs late in the season and helping them win games down the stretch. Triple-double monster. Still can get better with the shot, but I really liked what he did attacking the rim this year, rebounding the ball. And the big thing for me was, if you watch him, he got a lot better defensively. That was the thing. It was buying into the system with Pop, got a lot better defensively. I still think the outside shot can improve, but I thought he made a leap this year that was definitely incredible, to the point where you're like, yo, I liked how this guy is leading this team. Not quite sure he's the number one guy, but at least I really like the way he's leading his team. Numbers are off the charts in terms of his improvement. So Dejante Murray was the guy for me here. Who did you have, Jarod? I guess I should say, I'll keep it like Brian. What Grizzly did you have here improving? Why is it Desmond Bain?
I mean, what's there not to say about Desmond Bain?
Yeah,
but I'll get there in a minute.
See, Brian? I told you.
Desmond upper body bang, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, he's legit. Look, I will say, shouts to Dejante Murray. I did have him number 2 on my list. I love what I saw for him this year. You know me, whenever I am tough to decide on something, I'm like, all right, what do the numbers tell me? And Dejante Murray was already a net positive player, estimated plus minus last year, 1.8, jumped to 3.2. Significant jump, no doubt. Desmond Bain was a minus 1.2 last year and is plus 3.8 this year. A humongous jump in estimated plus minus. To Brian's point, he was 61 and 59 last year, true shooting effective field goal percentage. He's 61 and 57 this year. So basically, the shooting is exactly the same, and he's playing against starters as opposed to backups like he was last year. I just think that everything he has done, and you saw the reason why the Grizzlies were 20-2 or whatever they were without Morant. Bain was a huge reason why offensively, because they didn't have Dylan Brooks either, was able to fill up and get those points. I just love what I saw from Desmond this year. And on defensively, he is competing on that, and he's not a turnstile, right? He's actually a plus on defense. So Bain, to me, and considering where he was drafted, also on Brian's point, I was thinking about that for a while, for like over a whole year, because Brian made this argument last year. I think I agree with it. Like, John Morant was drafted 2nd behind Zion Williamson. Like, we expect you to be good. Now, to be fair, you have to put in the work and actually get good, right? Like, you have to improve. Just because you're drafted 2nd don't mean it's just going to happen because you're drafted 2nd. How many dudes we've seen over the year drafted in the top 5 and ain't done shit in this league because they don't work, right? So he had to get better. Exactly, right? Guys who actually have to put in the work. So I'm not going to knock him and say, like, he doesn't get anything because he put in the work to get this good. But I'm giving it to Bain.
Desmond Bain, can't deny that at all. He's been really fantastic this year at all. Murph, who did you have here? And come on, tell me, you can pick a Nick for the 2nd year in a row. Come on, you can do it.
Who was the Nick last year?
Julius Randle. Why you acting like you forgot his name, man?
I forgot. He still exists. He still. I don't even know.
So
I forgot about him. He's still in the league. He's still in the league.
He's still in the league. Yo,
they got to trade his ass.
Julius Randle gave Murph the thumbs down, and Murph was like, exactly. I don't know who that is.
Yeah, you don't do me like that. I'm a New York fan. You don't do me like that. All right, don't give me no thumbs down. All right. See what happened to Baez. He's out of here too.
But, shit.
But no, I went with Bain also. I agree with Jarod right there. Just a huge improvement. I understand it's from 1st to 2nd year, but it's a major improvement and it had significance because of what Memphis was able to do this year. Jarod gave all the numbers, the point. Brian talked about the points doubling. PER went from 12.2 to 17.6. That was a great point Jarod made about what's his name being injured?
John Morant.
No, not Morant.
Dylan Brooks.
Dylan Brooks. Because really, he just slid into Dylan Brooks' spot and became what Dylan Brooks was, for that team. Like,
and a better shooter.
And seamlessly. So I think, Bain, and I've just been impressed every time I see Bain. Just a hardworking dude. I agree with, I basically agree with you, Brian, in terms of like a top 5 pick. I wouldn't put it in those terms because it depends. Like if it could be a top 5 pick and he's garbage for 2 years, and if he really like Jarod said, if he does the work and improves, over that 3rd year, I'm not going to hold it against him that he was a top pick because he actually, if you truly improve. But in Moret's case, it's just a trajectory.
He was good already.
Yeah, he was great. Right. He was borderline great already. We thought he was going to be great. Maybe it came a little faster, a year faster than we thought it might. Mm-hmm. But I don't think that's enough to get to put. First of all, I would be, if I'm Ja Morant and I'm that dude like he is. I don't want most improved. He
wants Desmond Bain to get it. He's campaigning for Desmond Bain to get it. But to your point, it's a rule, but also I couldn't break that rule. Like Victor Oladipo is a good example of somebody who he wasn't really living up to his hype for a few years, bounced around to a couple different teams, and then he became a star. And then unfortunately he got hurt. That's one example where I'm like, okay, that works. But the Brandon Ingram one where it's he's in year 4 and he just developed. And John Morant and Darius Garland now, nah, man, I ain't here for that.
Brian, if you could see it coming, then I don't think you should get the.
I tend to agree with that.
You want that Oladipo tip now, huh, Brian? See, he's part of that heat culture. Hashtag heat culture.
Hashtag
when,
heat culture.
When he was in Indiana, all NBA, you were like, he ain't that good. Now he real good, huh? Okay.
I still am
I'm messing with you.
Just say you love him, man. Just say you love him.
I'll say this. He had 40, 10, and 7 last game of the season.
He can hoop.
He might not be in the playoff rotation because of how he fits or doesn't. He might be a break in case of emergency.
He could get paid somewhere.
I'm not turning this to a Heat thing, though, because I'm doing a show on 5 Reasons Sports right after this. So I'm going to be all heated out.
Tune into 5 Reasons Sports where Brian could give all his Heat love. Wait, Murph. The funniest thing we heard was what you said in our chat about Oladipo.
What? Oh, Murph!
I missed that today. What Murph? What did you say about Oladipo?
R&B, yeah, he can't say it.
He got bodied by got
bodied by yeah. I did see that. I forgot about that.
It was
I mean, he can't say it.
Orlando, right? Orlando got bodied by R&B. He's a great singer.
He got bodied by R&B brothers.
R&B.
Didn't he win what's that show?
Masked Singer.
Masked Singer. That's right.
No, Victor can sing. He can sing. He can really sing.
No, I know, and I heard that from my wife and son who watched the show. They're like, "Yo, I knew he was a singer. I knew he was doing that, but I didn't know he was nice for real." And then
he's nice.
They told me he's
nice. People were saying his album was good. You know what I mean?
No, he
has an album.
Yeah, nice for real.
I think it's called VO.
I met a dude who produced some stuff on his album at a career day of random places.
So let me ask y'all a question. So a baller, right? Like NBA guy and Dame or whatever. He's got a rap album or Miles Bridges raps. A bunch of these dudes got studios, whatever. We assume they're hard because they rap. So do you assume Oladipo soft because he sings R&B?
Yes.
Nah, because
you give me quick. Yes.
Nah, I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
Because
I mean that's the stereotype that R&B. And remember, real R&B dudes have proved that wrong. I think Usher has beaten some people up.
Oh yeah,
Trey Songz.
Go ahead and run up on one of these R&B cats. Go ahead. Go ahead and run up on one of these R&B.
Look.
Go ahead and run up on Jaheim. His name is
Tell me what happened to your ass when you run up on that dude.
Tank. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, go ahead. Run up on them dudes. Tell me what happened.
I would
would you really want to fight Cisco? You know what I'm saying?
Nah. I wouldn't sleep. I'm just saying I wouldn't sleep. All right, moving along. This is the award everybody's going to talk about. This is going to be interesting. Most valuable player. We already got somebody in the chat who has Joel Embiid for MVP. Luke Densmore, tell us why you're from Philly and why you're nervous that your team might get bounced in the first round.
Why you gotta kill him like that?
He knows he's nervous.
He
knows he's nervous. NBA MVP. I'm so intrigued to have this discussion. So intrigued. Murph, who do you have and why is it again Julius Randle?
Yeah, well, I picked somebody a little better than Julius Randle. And I got to give it to my guy, Joel Embiid. I just have to do it. I know it's, to me, my philosophy on this award this year is that it's the top three are so close, Embiid, Jokic, and Giannis, that you can basically pick who your favorite player, or you can just pick one of them, because you can't go wrong. I think all three probably deserve it, but I'm going kind of narrative. It could be my own narrative. I don't know, but I just feel like Embiid, he doesn't have one, so I think he deserves one, and I also think he was in the front runner spot up until they get this guy James Harden.
Got your boy.
And I'm not gonna let James Harden bring everybody down. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna let James Harden just ruin Embiid's season. You know what I'm saying? If it wasn't for James Harden, Embiid would get the award. I know if you go straight stats, you probably have to lean Jokic if you go straight stats. But you put everything into it. Like I said, Embiid held that team together. He had them with a great record without Ben Simmons or any other star. And I think that has to count for something. He's also campaigning. He convinced me on the JJ Redick podcast. I probably need to vote for him. So I think overall he's doing a great job politicking, along with his play. So I'm going to go Embiid on this one.
Okay, Joel Embiid. We got one vote for Joel Embiid. So the guy who's watching from Philly, he's happy about that. Bryan, why is this award for Bobby Portis for you?
Bobby Portis.
No, I think he was SEC MVP one year, but not the NBA.
Of course, you would know that. Of course.
I don't know. I'm just guessing because he went to Arkansas and he was pretty good. Really good. Luka was 5th for me. Devin Booker 4, Embiid 3, Giannis 2, Jokic 1.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did not see you as voting for Jokic. Okay.
It was kind of similar to me as like when Steve Nash won his first MVP and then he was better the second year. And it's kind of like, dog, like, how do you not give it to him? Times 10, because Jokic has been a lot better than even that. He's doing things that, like, people already have him as the best second-round draft pick ever. And I don't know who you even fight that with. How do you even combat that, et cetera, et cetera? Like, he's a ridiculous developmental success. In terms of, like, the catastrophe around him with Michael Porter Jr., one, not playing well because of a bad back and then having to sit out because of said bad back. Jamal Murray tearing his ACL, not being able to come back. And with Will Barton, Aaron Gordon, and Bones Highland, and Facundo Campazzo, and,
trash
that, like, aren't awesome. And I like some of these players, but Jokic has brought them to, where I think they can win a round in the Western Conference playoffs if he doesn't run out of gas again in the playoffs, which he has done. He's one of the only dudes who's been, like, remarkably healthy and doesn't really miss games like that. He rarely does. So I'm hoping that continues to be the case because he is awesome to watch. One of my favorite players to watch. And for me, it's very tough. Like, between the top three, Jokic, Giannis, and Embiid, I feel like the order is insignificant. I just feel like, you kind of just go with your guy here. And for me, I think it's toughest for me to not give it to Embiid, to not give it to Jokic than the other two. So I went with them.
With him. Oh, okay. Got one Jokic, one Embiid. Jarod, where are you going on the NBA MVP discussion?
In any season, any one of these guys would be a runaway MVP candidate. In any other singular season, they would just kill and you'd be like, all right, they're getting it. But the fact that those three of them are having this historic level of winning and production, it's insane. I have Joel Embiid 3rd, Giannis 2, and Nikola Jokic 1. I'm going to do the anti-Nick right here. Nikola Jokic is number 1 in every single advanced metric. Every single one. Not second, not 5th, not 7th. Number 1 in all of them. And to Bryan's point, and I'm not, I'm telling jokes, but I'm being real here. Obviously, Will Barton and Aaron Gordon and Bones Highland and Campazzo are NBA players. But the fact that you got that crew to the 5th seed or the 6th seed, in the Western Conference, that is strictly because of Nikola Jokic. You take him off that team, they're winning 5 games. They down there with Orlando, Houston, Oklahoma City, hanging out in the dregs of the NBA.
Charlotte Bobcats.
Exactly. Win shares per 48 is the stat that has told us for the last 12 years who wins MVP. The person number one in win share per 48 wins that every single year, except the one time it didn't happen was when everyone thought because Russell Westbrook averaged triple-double, he should get an MVP.
He deserved it, though. But
except he did it 2 more times and didn't finish in the top 5. So clearly, we don't care about triple-doubles. But that's a conversation for a different day.
You can't let that man have an MVP.
Nope. Because
I should have probably got it that year, right?
And here's the thing. If Russell Westbrook had done this in a Grizzlies uniform, I do not think Jarod would be saying the same thing.
Oh, I definitely would, because I'd be like, get that man off that team. 100%.
You got a better version on your team. It's fine.
Oh, thank you. A way better version. But no, real talk. So and Jokic is .300 in win shares per 48. League average is .100. He's 3 times above league average in win shares per 48.
What about the defensive numbers?
He is defense.
I know, but he has a great defensive team though.
He is better than Giannis in defensive estimated plus minus, and he's a 10th of a point behind Embiid. Like, look, he's not a turnstile down there. He's actually serviceable and above average.
But you don't really think he's a better defender than Embiid?
No, I don't think he's a better defender.
Okay.
No.
Right.
But I don't think the gap is.
He has gotten better as a defender.
I don't think the gap is like.
Yeah, I don't think he's trash defensively. I mean, his numbers, like you said, the defensive win share numbers. Tell a different story. I think he has better numbers than Embiid, but that could be also a team defensive. His
team is a little bit better defensively, and some of that's 3-point shooting luck. I mean, the defensive numbers are always, we haven't figured it out yet. If we're being honest, we haven't figured it out, and you have to watch closely. Look, as I said, if anybody wants to vote for either one of them, I'd be like, I'm not mad at anybody. Any one of those three are worth it or worthy. It's just everybody can't win MVP, right? It's like it's hard. It's really hard.
No, it is hard. I went with Jokic here. For a lot of my real cause is like, look, when it comes to value for me, it's a lot of it is what Jarod said at one point, which is if you take this guy off this team, right? You take the person off this team, what is this team? And you can look at all the numbers, all the stuff, and I really believe you take Jokic off the Nuggets, they ain't shit. Like, they are struggling out here. You're probably talking about them competing for the number 1 pick in the draft, right? Like, this is what you're talking about. Easy. And we also didn't mention this guy in terms of coach of the year, but Michael Malone should get some credit because he kept things together even without Jamal Murray, and without Michael Porter Jr., being out. He kept it together. So I think he deserves some credit. I think Jokic has been incredible. I've been impressed with what he's done on defense. Murph, you talked about, yes, I don't think he's good as Giannis defensively. I don't think he's good as Embiid defensively. But I'll tell you what, he's a lot better than what he was 2 seasons ago defensively, which that was a point where I was like, kind of trash. You know what I'm saying? Like, people were just eating him up on that end. That's not happening anymore. He still can get a little bit better to me on the defensive rebounding end, although he has been grabbing boards. But in terms of like closing out on his man, helping out on defenders, for a guy that doesn't even move that great athletically, he's still been all right. Like,
he's been excellent.
He's been excellent. So can't
I agree with the Jokic point in terms of take him off the team. But I think you could say the same thing about Embiid. If you take Embiid off Philly, what are they doing?
That's fair.
That's fair for Philly.
They be praying for Ben Simmons to come back, and
now Milwaukee might be a 500 team.
Yeah, I mean, you got Chris and Drew. You got Chris and Drew. You're gonna win some games.
Yeah, that definitely. We did this out of order. I was supposed to do NBA Defensive Player of the Year before that. NBA Defensive Player of the Year. Let's talk about that a little bit. This to me is going to be an interesting one. I'm gonna start with Bryan on this because we know he likes.
He said go last.
He said he wants to go last. I'll have him go last. Okay, Bryan will not go last. He'll go last. Jarod.
Yes, sir.
Who do you have for NBA Defensive Player of the Year? And yeah, talk to me about that. Who do you have?
I want to say, had he not gotten hurt, this would have been Draymond, runaway. Like, he had that thing locked up in January. It was a wrap. But then he got hurt. Hasn't played 40-something games, and that's gonna hurt him. I want to shout out Mikal Bridges and Matisse Thybulle. Hell of defensive seasons. But the Boston Celtics have been the number 1 team in the NBA on defense since January 10th, I want to say. And Marcus Smart, Robert Williams, shout out to Robert Williams, been really good. But Marcus Smart, a big reason for that. At the point of attack, he is a fucking nightmare. Like, and his willingness to literally get his face knocked out, his teeth knocked out. Like, he's a Bryan type of guy, clearly. That type of willingness, like, you can't put a measure on that, right? Because that feeds into the rest of the team. You see them wanting to sell out for each other and sell out to go help and rotate and do what they got to do. And that is all of his spirit and his want to. And we hardly ever give it to guards because big men always get it. And it's been a down year for Rudy, even though he's still been very excellent on defense. But I'm going to give it to Marcus Smart. You're on mute.
They can hear me because I'm on mute because I didn't want y'all to hear me sipping my water. Murph, who do you have for Defensive Player of the Year?
Well, so I told you I was having, MVP vote. I was heavily influenced by listening to Embiid Redick's podcast. And one of the things that Embiid said that also made sense to me was that a big man should always win the Defensive Player of the Year because they have more responsibility.
I mean, they do.
This is good. This is
good.
good.
Shout out to Coach Thorpe. Read Coach Thorpe's article on True Hoop. Center is the hardest position to play in the NBA because they have all the responsibility.
This is going. I can't wait for Bryan to get in on this. It's going to piss him off.
But it's true, though.
You funnel everything to him, all that kind of stuff. So while I definitely agree with Jarod that Smart is a beast, no question about it. Wouldn't be mad if he gets the award. I gotta go with Bryan's guy, Bam Adebayo. Because, I just got to do it. I got to show him some love. His defensive metrics are a little better than Smart's. And, like I said before, he just has so much responsibility on that team. As Bryan will tell you, almost every day of the week, he can switch out on anybody. You know what I'm saying?
He'll tell you.
You know what I mean? He'll tell you. He alerted me to this. I had to start watching. So I gotta give it up to Bam here. I didn't put him on any other teams or awards. Just to play spoiler right here. So I think he deserves something.
Wait. You gave him Defensive Player of the Year, but you didn't put him on first or second team all defense?
Oh,
what?
Defense, but
defense. Okay. I was about to say.
He ain't making no All NBA team. No.
Yeah.
Bryan, are you shocked as much as I am that Murph?
Wait, Bryan, first, why do you think center is not the hardest position to play in the NBA? Because I think
I'm not saying it is or it isn't. I'm just saying a center shouldn't always have to win Defensive Player of the Year.
Talk your shit, Bryan. Go.
I just don't think that's the case. I'm gonna. Okay, shout out to Mikal Bridges. Yeah, that's fine. I'm gonna talk about two people. And Mikal Bridges has been very good. He's third for me. Marcus Smart, being the best defensive player on the best defensive team matters, and having one of the best guard defensive seasons ever, I think matters, or at least in my lifetime, which is a shorter lifetime than you guys. Only player to have 200 deflections, 115 steals, 75 loose balls recovered, and 15 charges drawn this year. And it's like we've seen Marcus Smart sort of knock on the door, getting to this level defensively. And this year, it feels like defensively he put it all together. I don't think the stats do him justice because we haven't figured out how to make the stats do guards justice defensively, which is why centers usually win Defensive Player of the Year also, because that's another element of this. Not all of the best perimeter defenders get a bunch of steals. That's not always the case. But a lot of the best rim protectors get a bunch of blocks, except for, I guess, Tyson Chandler that one year he won Defensive Player of the Year. Only 0.87 points allowed per isolation. He can switch 1 through 5, but not like Bam. Bam Adebayo defended 206 isolations this year, 0.8 points per possession allowed, 0.75 if you don't count assists. He switched 600 screens this season, almost 200 more than the next person, and that was surprisingly Isaiah Stewart. And the most switches per 100 possessions at 18.2. That's the most probably ever. Covers the most ground in the league. When he switches, they allow 88 points per 100 possessions. That's it. For the entire possession, half court points allowed, 104.3 per 100, which is the lowest in the NBA. That's the Heat as a team. So teams try to move him around and get him out of the play, and then he helps on the weak side, contests, blocks a shot, does a lot of different things. I call him Darrelle Revis, and I call Rudy Gobert Richard Sherman, because Richard Sherman is great at being a zone defensive player. I mean, not a zone defensive player, but guarding a area, guarding a zone, guarding the paint. but I think you can throw Bam on anybody and he could cover them and shut them down. And I think it's a little bit different. And that's not a diss either. I just think that they're different type of dudes. I liked Richard Sherman a lot when he was at his peak, but
you do not like Rudy Gobert. We can just say that.
No, but Darrell Revis was better. Like he just was.
Well, yeah,
and
he went to the University of Pittsburgh. So.
And there are people saying that Bam can't win the award because of games played. When Rudy Gobert's first Defensive Player of the Year in 2017-18, he played 56 games. Bam played 56 games this year and was better this year than Rudy Gobert was that year. And the Utah Jazz were 48-34, fifth in the Western Conference at that season. And they lost, surprisingly, in round 2 because they actually won a series that year. So to me, I actually have this as a tie between Bam Adebayo and Marcus Smart. I don't think that's ever been done before in NBA history.
This is all to make you happy. This is all to make you happy.
Here's the thing. I just can't I can't diss the other one. I couldn't make a choice, so I'm like, all right, like I'm banging the drum like guards should get more respect in a wing-driven lead, in a guard-driven league for their defense when they're fucking allowed to play it. And Marcus Smart is able to do that this year to the highest level. And then Bam Adebayo, you already know how I feel about him. So I'm going with the tie Bam Adebayo, Marcus Smart.
Just quickly, another reason that I think, big men have an advantage in this also is because I consider defensive rebounding a part of defense also. And maybe the most important part in terms of closing out a possession.
They have an inherent advantage because they're closer to the rim.
Yeah, they're just
bigger. And they're bigger.
And they're bigger.
But I'm like, I don't think
that's who you rely on. That's who you rely on.
I don't think guards should be penalized for that. So if I'm using size, if I'm using size, I think Marcus Smart gets the most out of being 6'4", 200 whatever pounds.
I have to agree with that. I have to agree with that.
Okay,
I think there are guards who average 8 rebounds.
There needs to be commended for that. I mean, and let's be honest about some of the guard rebounding. Nowadays, you're seeing guards come up with a lot of rebounds because motherfuckers are just launching threes from everywhere, and we're just getting longer rebounds.
I mean, yes, but Steph averaging like 6.5, 7 rebounds sometimes, and it's like, stop it.
But to Murph's point, right, about defensive rebounding being one of the most important parts of defense, which I agree. Anytime you've been coached, right, secure the defensive rebound. That's how you end the possession.
You don't get that rebound.
It's nothing, right? To that point. My vote is for Marcus Smart. I'm going to say that here. But why it is to that point is Marcus Smart, if you watch him, this dude is boxing out 7-footers. He is good at that. Like if we're saying that's part of defense.
He's a fire hydrant.
Yeah, he's good at that. And you know what? 7-footers, if Rudy Gobert knows Marcus Smart, he don't want no part of that. I'm not saying he can't get the rebound. He knows that he makes it tough for him. Marcus Smart is a problem in terms of you being able to get that defensive rebound. And that, to me, is a sign of somebody who's really good all around. Bryan hit a lot of the points on there. So did Jarod. I think he's been the best defender on the best defense. He deserves credit for that. I agree with Bryan 110% that we still haven't figured it out in terms of how we assess how good people are defensively on the perimeter. We haven't done that, and it has to be some value to that and looking at that. And I think this is a year where we saw a guy who's tremendous on the perimeter and does good things, like I said, like he's boxing out big guys. He's taking charges. He's causing deflections. He is the heart and soul of that defense. The Celtics defense is really good. I got to give it up to Marcus Smart on this one. I'm not mad if you want to go. I actually thought you were going to go with Embiid, Murph. That's who I thought you were going to go with at first. I'm not mad if somebody wants to give it to Bam, and I think Bam is deserving.
Excellent points on Bam.
I also would like to give some love to Jarod's boy. Jarod knows I've been beating the drum for this on the NBA Exchange. Jaren Jackson Jr. deserves some love in terms of that. The only problem with Jaren Jackson, I think that'll hurt him, is he has fouled a lot in some games and gotten himself in a lot of foul trouble. And watching the Grizzlies, he's been in foul trouble a lot this year. But when he's not, that man's help defense has been fantastic.
And you just sort of about this year.
Might be the best part of his game this year.
Yeah, and this is less fouling than he's been doing. This is less fouling, Dex, than he's been doing.
Yeah, and I still think you can cut that down, right? Like I still see the improvement there. Mikal Bridges, who both you guys, Bryan and Jarod, you shouted out, definitely deserves some credit. He's been one of the better on-ball defenders this year.
Excellent.
Too, and he deserves a lot of credit. So
Phoenix is the number 3 defense in the league. Chris Paul and him are a huge. Of course, DeAndre Ayton, huge reasons why.
And he's the guy that they typically set on the other team's best score. So
like, there's that 38 per game scorer. You got to shut him down. All right.
Yeah. And he did it to Steph Curry earlier this year, which a lot of people remember.
He's been taking that assignment. Okay, let's keep it with defense. This is the Bryan time that he likes to talk.
Oh shit.
NBA all defense, and I'm really first team will go with because I'm really intrigued because this was tough for me.
This was hard.
And how you guys decided to break it up.
All right, let me go first on this.
Go.
Because I want to say something real quick. I don't give a fuck about positions. Okay, I don't care. I am picking the 5 best dudes, and that's all defense and all NBA. So, first team, Bam Adebayo. Like that?
wait, can we see Brian's face? He's smiling. He's happy. He's jumping.
It's obviously on my first team.
Ready. Because I don't care about positions. Rudy Gobert. That's right. I got 2 big dudes on my team because I don't give a shit. Mikal Bridges, Matisse Thybulle, Marcus Smart.
You're a bad man.
Yo, good luck scoring on that team.
Ooh, okay.
Say that what you said. Rudy Gobert, Bam, Matisse Thybulle, Marcus Smart, and Mikal Bridges, right?
Okay. Not bad.
That's first team. We just doing first team, right?
First team. Yeah, Murph, who'd you have for your first team?
It might be the same. I had Adebayo, Smart, Mikal Bridges, Gobert, but I had Jaren Jackson Jr.
Shout out to my guy Trip Jackson.
Jaren Jackson Jr.
That's
on
a
that.
lot of length.
It's a lot.
Good luck scoring on that team.
Good luck. I would want no parts of that. Brian, did you pick 5 Heat players?
No.
Okay, good shot.
No Strus.
Hey, he did have those game-winning stops against Boston. He had
your 7, Max Strus. Gabe Vincent.
Gabe Vincent could guard.
Here we go. I do.
All defense first team. I do have 1 Heat player, Bam Adebayo. I also have, I'm surprised, unless Dexter, you sort of bucked this trend here. I'm surprised I'm the only one that has this guy on the first team, but I actually get it because, you're splitting hairs at center. But I went with Robert Williams on my first team.
Yeah, second team for me.
And I have Rudy on the second team, spoiler alert, but it was very close. Mikal Bridges is on my defensive first team. And in the backcourt, we have Marcus Smart and
Gary Payton II, I bet.
Fred VanVleet.
Wow. That's an interesting pick there.
I know why you put him there. I don't love his defensive metrics.
Yeah,
but don't like him. And he's small.
I don't think the metrics measure his activity well enough because I was looking through some of those and I was like, I don't know what they're missing. But again, another one of the reasons why Toronto's been so good this year is not only that Fred VanVleet became an all-star, it's also just a two-way play that he's had when he's been healthy. Now I'm a little bit concerned about the health because it's been nagging shit all year long. Take it from somebody who had him in fantasy, I know. But look, I think Fred VanVleet's had a very, very, very high level season defensively in a year that is again very tough, especially in the backcourt because there are a lot of guys in the mix there. But Fred VanVleet and Marcus Smart for me. So Robert Williams, Bam Adebayo, Mikal Bridges, Fred VanVleet, Marcus Smart. That was my first team.
Yeah. Okay. I kind of wish I had done what Jarod did and was fuck positions. I didn't do that here. I tried to move some things around with positional flexibility. And I kind of regret some stuff because I might have flipped some stuff another way. I'm actually making a change to my first team on the fly right now.
There you go.
Guys. I did so the guard positions. I had Marcus Smart, Mikal Bridges, put him as a guard. I put Bam as a forward. Also Jaren Jackson Jr. as a forward. And I put Rudy as a center. Right? Good luck scoring on that team. That's my 5. My flip, which I'll explain when we do the second team. I'll explain who I flipped out and took off the first team. But those are my 5 that I have. But I'm kind of with you on this, Jarod. It's probably fine for defense. We don't need to go positions.
No.
We need 5 best defender. We need to do that with everything, but specifically for defense, I think that's fine. All right, second team. Jarod, you go first again. Who you got?
Jared Allen at center. Trip J at power forward. I mean, whatever. Why am I saying position? I don't give a fuck. Robert Williams, Draymond Green, and Drew Holiday.
Okay. Okay.
That's so interesting. Okay.
That's a good that's a good one.
I've seen the score on that one too.
That's interesting. I don't know. Drew is one that
Draymond and Tripp give you all the positional versatility that you need, and Drew too.
Drew is one that I struggle with because I felt like he wasn't as sharp defensively.
I didn't love the metrics for him, but every Bucks game that I watched, I'm like, damn, this motherfucker can guard.
You still can, yeah. You still could do. Look, we should have 3 all defensive teams, honestly. But
I agree with that. Murph, who'd you have for second team?
I had Williams, Holiday, Thibault, Draymond, and I put my guy Tatum on there, second team.
Tatum.
I mean, look, Jarod, his defensive metrics.
He has got better. He's got better.
Jason Tatum and F the C's.
Damn, tell him why you mad. All right, Brian, who you got?
Rudy Gobert, who almost made my first team. Jaren Jackson Jr., who almost made my first team.
Mm-hmm.
And I really wanted to put him on my first team. Giannis Antetokounmpo, who I also wanted to put on my first team.
I was Giannis.
I thought this dude was kind of falling off a little bit, and he went to Minnesota and led these motherfuckers into the playoffs.
Lord. Here we go.
Patrick Beverly, baby.
There we go.
There we
Have
go.
that chicken, y'all, man. He don't play no defense. Just be running around. Don't do nothing.
Yo,
You got the last word there.
Speaking of
Yeah.
JJ Redick's pod, the Patrick Beverly interview where he talks about that. Look, it was I want to say good stuff, but for somebody like me, inspiring stuff that would suffice.
Yeah, of course it inspired you. Of course it did.
And then at the other, the last remaining spot, so that's Rudy Gobert, Jaren Jackson Jr., Giannis Antetokounmpo, Patrick Beverly, and the Ed Reed of NBA defense, Jimmy Butler, made my second team.
Jimmy is fucking me up, man. I can't really mess with that dude sometimes, man. He's really annoying.
As a safety, if you watch him, the motherfucker, like, shit that you
Jimmy's
won't see
mad good. I
recorded
just,
it's tough. But if I did have an look, I just want to say this. If I had an all defensive third team, because I wrote it out here, Jared Adams there, Matisse Thybulle there, Dejante Murray's there, Jared Vanderbilt is there, almost really made my second team. And Dorian Finney-Smith is there.
Dorian Finney-Smith was a hard cut for me.
Yeah.
Hard cut. I had a tough time not putting
Jared Allen was like, it was also like he missed mad time.
Jared Allen, his defensive metrics this year, though, are.
We should really have 3 teams. Seriously.
Yeah, I left Jared Allen off too. I thought that was a good put by Jarod. I just one of the guys I put on at the guard spot, and because I was thinking about it, now I'm looking at it, I'm like, I don't know if he played enough games, but when he did, he was so good on the ball. And it was Alex Caruso. So I gave him a second spot.
I like that though. Yeah.
No, he's nice.
Thybulle, another spot.
So good.
Giannis. I flipped Giannis and Bam. I had Giannis first team, but I flipped him with Bam. That's who I ended up flipping. Giannis. I put Draymond because he would have ran away with it, but not enough games. And then Robert Williams, Time Lord to me, had to get on there. So that was my 5. All right.
The thing with all this stuff, though, guys, is like, in the playoffs, Giannis could like do whatever, but it's not a playoff award. It's what did you do in the regular season? That's what you're getting awarded for, not what you could do in the playoffs. Yeah, I picked mad different dudes in the playoffs, but we ain't worried about that.
I went with
all season.
I went with Giannis.
I have a video coming out on that actually at some point, but
I went with Giannis because while I agree with you, Jarod, the numbers for him were not eye-popping or even the test. I thought he had a lot more responsibility this year with Lopez being out and having to play at the 5. And so I gave some value to that because I saw a lot of the help defense, but he had to do so much more for the team. So I wanted to reward him for that. So
I feel you.
That's kind of why I went there. All right. All NBA. We got 3 teams to go here. All NBA first team. Woo! I just want to know. This is all I care about in all this.
My 4th team is fire. I'll tell you that.
All I want to know for everybody is where did you put LeBron James? Brian, starting with you.
First team.
Your all NBA first team. Oh, we do. Oh, hold on. Do we want to go third to first, or we want to go first
to third? First to third.
All right.
We're gonna get to the cuts last. No, we gotta get to the cuts last. We gotta get.
That's true. That makes sense.
More suspense on the third team.
Yeah.
Because my first team is just my MVP ballot.
You're right.
My first team is just my MVP ballot. It's just Joel Embiid, Nikola Jokic, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Devin Booker, Luka Doncic. Let's keep it moving. Like I don't need to get.
Okay.
Fair.
Okay. All right. I'm fine with that. Jarod, who'd you have?
Jokic, Embiid, Giannis, Kevin Durant, and Stephen Curry.
Ouch.
Wow.
KD on the first team?
No, I will tell you why KD belongs on the first team.
Please tell me why.
50-something games?
35 and 18 with Kevin Durant in the lineup. That is a 53-win pace. What other teams won 53 games this year? The Memphis Grizzlies and the Phoenix Suns. Not the Miami Heat. Not the...
Yeah, they did. Hold on.
No, they didn't. Miami's like 51, 52.
Nah, I think they're 53 and 29. I'm pretty sure they are.
Yeah.
Either way,
to the Heat.
Either way,
29.
Either way, same win pace as the number 1 seed Miami Heat. All right. I mean, look, you cannot tell me you watch any games this season and you're going to tell me that dude is not one of the 5 best players in the NBA.
Well, I will say this.
For him, I'm like, nope. Again, 35 and 18 with him on the floor. This team was in first place for a majority of the season. He goes down, they lose 15 straight. Wonder why.
He's so good that they're going to get him hurt again.
I will say this. When I watched Durant and all that stuff and what he did this season, the impact, and was it 35 and 18, Jarod?
Correct.
I watch all that, and I'm like, Larry Bird could have done that.
Stop playing.
Easily.
Stop playing. Stop playing. We're not doing that. Stop playing. You're not listen. I keep telling y'all, Larry Bird is Wally Zerbiak in this era.
You better hope KD gets a couple MVPs. You better vote him MVP this year.
Once again, MVP.
You better go give him the MVP.
As my man KD said, when asked,
they always take the bait. They always take the
as he said when they were like, yo, KD, if MJ and Bron are picking teams, he goes, oh, I'm in that top pick. Yeah, he is. You are not picking 10 dudes in the history of the NBA before you're picking that guy.
Gerard, what was it with the team again? You had KD.
Steph, KD, Giannis, Embiid, Jokic.
You said Steph? Steph
yes.
made first team?
Correct.
Steph, KD, Giannis, Embiid, Jokic.
By the way, all 5, top 5 in the NBA in the best all-in-one stat that exists, estimated plus minus. Sorry, is what it is.
The KD love fest continues for Gerard. Murph, who do you have for all NBA first team?
I think I have the same as Brian, except I threw Larry Bird in there.
Chump ass Larry Bird.
If he were around now,
guarding in a phone booth, acting like he all that on defense, trash ass.
So Jokic, Embiid, Giannis, Luka, and Booker. I had to give Booker. Statistically, I'm not sure Booker belongs there, but because of the Suns season, I kind of put him in there last minute. It was tough though.
Yeah, Booker's one I struggled with. Man.
No CP3, no Book. The Suns machine keeps rolling.
I didn't do it. I went. Nobody voted for this. There's a guy nobody voted for of the 3 of you. I did Luka. I did John Morant. First team All NBA. You thought he missed 2 games?
I thought about
20 and 2 without him.
Or 20 and 4, whatever.
His numbers are crazy though.
I still feel like his numbers are crazy when he played. And I think
what's the Nets record without Kevin Durant?
35 and 18.
Well, no,
without. But how much has to do with?
I told you Kyrie is not a winner.
How much of their record without Durant has to do with
Kyrie wasn't even there,
not doing what he's supposed to do, and Harden quitting on the team?
What is their record without?
But that matters, though.
I'm just saying.
I seen Kyrie's movie.
I hear you.
Celtics. You know what I'm saying?
I had to
35 and 18 with Durant.
I penalized Morant and Durant the same because of the number of games.
That's fair. Okay, I don't have a problem with that. Also,
that's your criteria, yeah.
But Gerard also explained his criteria, to be fair, and I will be fair to that.
Like, I didn't have Draymond on my old defense because I'm like, he played half the season. So
yeah, that's fine. So I had Doncic, Morant, Giannis, Embiid, Jokic, and I think all of us went with we're gonna go use a positional flexibility here
again.
And we're gonna make sure we get Embiid and Jokic on the first team. All right, All NBA second team.
All right, here we go.
All right, I know it sucks for you, Jarod. You cannot put KD on 2 teams. I know that, bro.
Now listen, don't start that shit. All right, don't start that shit. Y'all KD hate fest over here. All right, Karl Anthony Towns at center, and I'm sorry, I know Luka and Tatum been good second half of the season. What the fuck were they doing first half of the season? It's the whole season that matters.
Luka was getting in shape.
Center, exactly, getting his fat ass in shape. Luka and Tatum are my forwards. CP3 and John Morant are my guards. So Towns, Luka, Tatum, CP3, John Morant. Second team.
Okay. Brian?
Karl Anthony Towns, Kevin Durant, Jason Tatum, John Morant, Steph Curry. That was my All-NBA second team.
Okay.
So we all have the same first 10 guys.
That's why I wanted to save 3 for last, because that's where it gets interesting. But
I do not have the same first 10
guys. I don't have the same either.
Yeah. Go ahead, Murph.
I got Towns, DeRozan, Tatum, Curry, Paul. So I threw DeRozan in there. Again, games. He played, 74 games, 74, 76 games.
Kevin Durant. What the hell is happening in these worlds?
Numbers pretty up there with KD.
DeRozan. What are we doing right now?
Why you mad?
Well, he played 50-something games, man.
What's their record with Kevin Durant? 35 and 18? What's the record without?
Maybe if he'd have played the rest of them games, he'd have been first team and had a better record. They also because he's so fragile. Here we go. Here we go. Took the Nets to the play-in.
Here we go. This team was in first place before he got injured.
Happened?
He got injured.
Right.
What Murph is basically saying
is tougher,
Larry,
baby. You can't get rewarded for that. You can't get rewarded for
that. Bad back Larry Bird, who want to get carried around by Kevin McHale and Robert Parrish. You mean that Larry Bird?
He didn't get the MVP. He didn't get the MVP those years, though. He didn't get the MVP those years.
You know, I got the MVP. 99% white media was like, white man. Let me give him another MVP.
Tell KD to average 10 and 10 and 30. Then he'll get it too.
Listen, man. Anybody grabbing 10 rebounds in that archaic 80s style ball where everybody's 5 feet from each other.
I'm sorry. Man, KD's just not ahead of his time like Bird was, I guess. I don't know.
Ahead of his time. Larry Bird is Wally Zerbiak.
If you dominate the league like that, you're ahead of your time. I guess
Wally Zerbiak.
I guess KD's not there.
No, my man talking about he's the best shooter of all time. Just takes 1 3 a game. He's the greatest shooter of all time.
Getting in the top 10.
Hell out of
just
here.
get KD in the
top 10. Is trash.
Okay. All NBA second team, and it still turns into a Bird versus KD debate, which
trash ass Larry Bird. Fuck out of here.
I just find it hilarious how everybody gets so passionate about this debate.
Step your MVP hilarious. Game up. That's all I gotta say.
I mean, if he had media in his back pocket, he would get 3 MVPs too. You know how
Look at you. You love KD.
Yeah, I don't got a media vote. I don't got an MVP vote.
You're not alone. You're not alone.
I'm about to hit y'all with the mute button like around the horn, man. I'm about to do the mute button. All right. All NBA second team. I got Steph, Devin Booker, Jason Tatum, Karl Anthony Towns, and drum roll, please, the king, LeBron James. Look, why y'all mad? Why y'all so mad? Hey, look, the man put up.
We gotta go to Jarod next because I don't think he's.
Wait a second. You put LeBron over KD?
I did put him over KD.
LeBron scoring points on a team that is out of the fucking play-in. LeBron James, who was a net negative. His team can't even win when he's on the floor.
Well, he had nobody else on the floor.
Wildin'.
He had nobody else on the floor with him. He had nobody else on the floor with him.
Go ahead, let's move on to third team, man.
Hold on. Are you trying to say he didn't have a great season?
Listen, he is the empty stats king this season. Look up when he scored most of his points. Look them up. Were they in clutch time situations? Hell no. Losing scenarios.
Hold on.
How many games under 500 the Lakers? 12? 13?
Hold on.
And he only played 56 games. He played only 56 games.
And the games when he was healthy, what was their record?
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry.
When he was healthy, what was their record?
Isn't that around the same amount of games that KD played?
What were the Nets' record when KD was healthy?
Wait. Is that the same amount of games that KD played? Is that the same games? Is that not around the same?
What was the Lakers' record when LeBron played?
The same games KD played.
What was the Lakers' record when LeBron played?
It doesn't matter.
500.
That's not what I asked. That's not what I asked. When he played with better players, did KD play with better players? Don't make me come out and say Larry Bird is better, bro. Don't make me do it.
Listen, you can say Larry Bird is better.
Don't make me do it, man.
Listen, man. LeBron's second team, cool.
LeBron's second team, he had a good year. Y'all can be mad, man. Don't be mad. Don't be mad.
We on third team.
We on 13. Larry Bird gonna come kick that ass. Go ahead. Third team All NBA.
Jarrett Allen, DeMar DeRozan, Jimmy Butler, Devin Booker, and drum roll, please. And it was tough.
Start over again. Say that again.
Jarrett Allen, DeMar DeRozan, Jimmy Butler, Devin Booker, and drum roll, please. I wanted to penalize most of these motherfuckers, but I couldn't.
John Morant?
Trae Young. No, John Morant's on my second team.
Oh, Trae Young.
I wanted to penalize Trae so bad.
So LeBron's not in any of your team?
No, he's not. I'm sorry. I don't care. It's not about games played. It's not about games played. He played the same amount of games as KD.
I just have a question. I have a question. When we look at all NBA, do we look at people who play on both sides of the ball? Because Trae Young does not do that.
Stop it.
But his offense is
he tries.
Nah, man.
You don't try.
We seeing him square dance with people who said screens on him.
That's his trying.
I'm just trying. I'm just trying to see what the criteria is.
He leads the league in total points and total assists.
Yeah, come on. That alone.
You know why I wanted to penalize him though, Dex. All seriousness, like
yeah.
When you're
and they made the play, unlike LeBron,
you can't come out and be like, "Oh, it's hard to get up for the regular season." No, not my guy. Like you're the leader of this motherfucking team. You got to set the better tone. So I wanted to penalize him for that. Like that was bullshit. But they got him to the play-in. Look, LeBron couldn't even get them to the fucking play-in. Play-in.
I mean, when you got street clothes on the bench, it's hard to do that, man.
Listen, street clothes is street clothes, but still, you could have won. What was it? One game out of the play-in, right?
Y'all gonna be real mad. Y'all gonna be real mad.
I think Trae would have got him. Trae would have got the Lakers to the play-in.
Y'all gonna be real mad. Y'all gonna be real mad if we were doing an NBA Executive Year of the Award vote and I voted for LeBron. Y'all have been mad. Y'all be real mad. Y'all been mad.
So obviously, all kidding and jokes. Apologies to Drew Holiday, Rudy Gobert, Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, and LeBron James. You
gotta apologize to Larry Bird, man. That's what you gotta do. Apologize to Larry.
That's beyond an apology. You know what I'm saying? You gotta go back to school.
I almost had something else, but let me.
Brian, go ahead. Who's your All NBA third team? This is hilarious.
All right. Chris Paul.
Okay.
DeMar DeRozan. Jimmy Butler. I can't not put my defensive player of the year here. So bam.
Oh, wow.
2 Heat players.
Pascal Siakam.
Shouts.
Wow.
Brian, no LeBron James on your all NBA teams either.
No LeBron, no Trae Young, no Donovan Mitchell.
No,
Brian,
those are my last cuts.
Brian, every once in a while, you and I we see eye to eye. We crystallize.
I think more than once in a while. I think you should point that out. I think more than once in a while.
This is shameful.
We might get there different ways. But here's my thing, right? I left off both of them because I'm just being consistent and like, yo, if your defense is going to be that flagrantly bad and your numbers are going to be that good in terms of counting stats, but it's not going to be that impactful, then for me, I'm just not. I'm cool. I'm going to reward guys and doing it on both ends. I don't think Pascal Siakam's getting enough credit for the season he's having.
He's played great.
As much as I love Fred VanVleet, Pascal Siakam has been like.
Wait, did KD make one of your teams?
He did.
Second team.
Team.
But to follow that point up on Brian's point about
did KD make your team, Brian? Third team?
Second team. He was on my second team.
Your second team. Okay.
I should take KD off all these teams.
That's fine. You can take him. That's fine. That's cool.
Yes, Jarod.
You talked about counting stats having an impact, right? So Trae is like a counting stat king, but they had an impact though, right? They got in the play-in.
But here's my thing. It's
no. My point is that LeBron had great counting stats. They couldn't even get in the fucking play-in.
Yeah, but that matters who you're playing with.
We're discounting.
It's one game. They couldn't get one game.
Stats?
Hold on. Because here's the thing with Trae Young too. Look at the guards I have ahead of him. Devin Booker, Luka Doncic, John Morant, Steph Curry, DeMar DeRozan, Chris Paul, Jimmy Butler's ahead. Like,
all have more impact on winning.
It's like, where's he going to slot in, right?
A couple of
and then with the with the LeBron James point with the forwards, it's like it's Jokic. If I'm counting him as a forward, Giannis and Durant and Tatum and Butler, Siakam, who played both ends of the floor at a high level. Pascal Siakam being a really good passer this year, also like it's just LeBron a lot like. Again, like Iman Adon, basketballnews.com, when you pierce through the numbers, a lot of LeBron's points, he had a Bradley Beal season, straight up. Where a lot of his points came at times.
Wait.
A lot of his points came at times where the game didn't matter.
He had a Bradley Beal season, right?
I didn't have Bradley Beal All-NBA last year.
Yeah, okay, some people did. Some people did.
I didn't.
Some people did.
I think I'm not on the Bradley
Beal
team
last year. I know. So it's not that crazy.
Bradley Beal's an empty calorie guy for sure.
We're splitting hairs here, and I think to some degree for Bradley Beal, it's also like who is he playing with, but at the same time, like continually again and again, he continues to get like 30 a game or around 30 a game.
I think Bradley Beal's more of an empty calories guy than LeBron.
But Murph, I was mad. I was mad at Trae because that's basically the same team that went to the conference finals last year, and I'm like, yo, y'all couldn't even be like a 7 seed.
because maybe they are now.
And they've run. And here's the thing. Like, and you know this from watching. Everyone knows this from watching Atlanta Hawks games. He has the ball in his hands all the time. He's gonna get crazy numbers. 30 and 10 is not like something like he's gonna walk into. But at the same time, he has the ball all the damn time. So I expect him to put up.
Larry put up those numbers.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Who done put
Larry
up
put up? Is Larry capable of putting up?
Oh, Larry. I thought you said Larry. My bad.
No,
yeah, like,
Larry doesn't. But Larry doesn't have the ball in his hands.
Just because he has the ball. But if he did, would he put up those numbers?
I mean, in Atlanta, shit.
Would he?
Maybe.
He'd lead the
close.
league in points, in total points and assists. He's capable.
No, I don't think he would. But he wouldn't do that though. That's the thing.
No, but he's not capable.
He would because he would actually be developing other guys on his team and trying to get them better. Trae Young's just kind of playing like he's getting his.
But you're not going to tell me you think Larry's capable of that. Right?
No, but it doesn't matter because he's more impactful anyway. There was a play when the Heat were playing the Knicks earlier this year where Lowry walked up the court. Tyler Hero had the ball in his hand. Lowry is calling the play. He's designing the play. Telling you two motherfuckers go here. Y'all come here, do the screen, whatever. He's laying out the whole fucking play. They run the play. They score. He doesn't touch the ball one time. Look, that's Kyle Lowry. Trae Young don't do that.
He's also mid-30s. Okay, he wasn't doing that when he was 24, 25.
Yeah, but if you look back at some of those Toronto Raptor playoff series, he was better than people remember. And DeMar DeRozan was
on my All NBA team, but here's what I will say about Trae Young: there is a way in which the other Atlanta Hawks players, they are not invested in Trae's success the way that all the Memphis Grizzlies are invested in John Morant's success. Okay.
Nope. John Collins don't like that dude.
And that is a Trae Young, and that is a Trae Young character flaw. Whatever that is, okay, his teammates do not love him the way they should for him being a star player. I don't know why. I have reasons why, but I'm just saying. That matters for a team. That's why Atlanta underachieves. And he made my third team. He made my third team.
Murph, I'm not saying I necessarily disagree with these two here. But it sounds like two people who love their team a lot in Miami and Memphis. That's what it sure sounds like to me there.
But you know what though?
Dexter, you can't deny the
Grizzlies. Both of you guys are borderline Trae Young haters from the start.
Murph, I admitted that. You know that. I went on MSG and said he has high bust potential. I will own that.
That's what I'm saying.
I said it. I will own that.
We all have our biases.
Murph,
I will say this, like, in our defense, Jarod and I like actual teams, and that's what Miami and Memphis are, more than most other teams in the league. So
listen, you have to agree with that, Dex and Murph, that Memphis seems they seem invested in Ja being good more so. No, I don't disagree with you. In Trae being good, but why is that? Why is that?
If Miami's not invested in Tyler Hero doesn't have the season that he's had.
I'm asking why. Why.
I think I will answer that and say, and just to be clear, I was making a joke with y'all. I think that has a lot to do with. I hate to bring this up because Brian could probably roll his eyes and it goes with the team we talk about, but it has to do with culture, right? And I think the leadership and fostering that, I think that matters in any team. And that's no shade towards Nate McMillan or Lloyd Pierce that was there before them. But I think there is something to when you're building a culture as opposed to with the Hawks where it's like, yo, man, we got Trae Young and ain't nothing else going on for us. So and I think that's part of Murph's point too. Like Trae Young has to make it work in a way because the culture is not there. I think it's all these things encompassed that in other places other people don't, right? So
they went to the conference finals last year. They're good enough.
But here's the thing I'm saying. It could be a little bit like the Knicks, right? Like maybe Atlanta's somewhere between the ceiling of what we saw them last year and where they are this year.
You know, right? I didn't buy into them last year.
I thought Atlanta was going to drop off this year. So I'm actually not that shocked at where they are this year. It's kind of like, it's kind of what I thought they would be.
And maybe they're dangerous this year. Who knows? But
maybe. Do I think there's the culture of Memphis, Jarod? No. Do I think there's a lot to what you're saying and why Memphis is more invested in the individual success of Ja Morant? I think there's something to that. But I think there's also something to Ja Morant being invested in the success of his teammates. I'm not really calling Trae selfish because I don't know that, but I feel like the culture is different, that Trae feels like he's got to make everything happen in Atlanta, where Ja doesn't necessarily feel that in Memphis. You feel me? That's what I'm saying on that.
I think there's a lot that goes into it's different skill sets. Part of it, like Ja Morant's not going to pull up from 40 either. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like you have different skill sets that could alienate teammates. I'm sure. I said 2 years ago that Trey, you could tell that his teammates.
He got a buzzer beater and nobody went to back him up.
That is wild to me. That is wild to me.
So to reiterate, my third team, because we got off topic. Chris Paul, DeMar DeRozan, Pascal Siakam, Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo.
All right, Murph, what's your third team?
My third team is Gobert, Butler, Durant, Morant, Young.
Okay.
So, and I said my fourth team is crazy, and I want to give a shout out to these dudes. Siakam, I had Siakam ahead of Durant. I was going to leave Durant off totally. Then it was like kind of what Jarod's argument was with DeRozan. I was like, I'm really going to put Siakam ahead of Durant? Like, I'm tripping. You know what I'm saying? So I couldn't do that.
Tripping.
So Siakam, Donovan, LeBron, Dejante, and Holiday. To me,
y'all out here disrespecting the king, man. Forget y'all.
No, Greg.
He would have been on
DeMar
my
does not
fourth
make second
team.
Sorry,
He'd be on my
DeMar's
fourth
third team. Sorry, Greg.
LeBron and Trey would be on my fourth team.
Yeah, they'd be on my fourth team.
You know what? I kind of do. One of the things I will say, in all seriousness, I do feel a little bit bad about is that I left DeMar DeRozan off. I did not put DeMar
completely
DeRozan on it.
Yeah,
I did.
You yelling at me about LeBron. You ain't got DeMar. None of your teams. What the hell is going on up in here?
I mean,
In the playoffs at least.
I'm gonna push back against you. I'm gonna push back against you on that. You talked about having to play the whole season. I mean, DeMar DeRozan was really impressive in the first half. He hasn't been that impressive in the second half.
We all kind of knew, like, all right, how long?
All right, but his team at least held on to a playoff spot. Your man's team couldn't even get into the play-in in the Western Conference.
Again,
a below 500 record gets you in. They couldn't even do that.
And this is, I don't like doing this because this is judging somebody against themselves. Like Steph Curry had a down year for Steph Curry, but not a down year, for example. But LeBron, like a couple years ago, he would have dragged that team to the playoffs. To probably like a 4 or 5 seed, even with
but
that's
fine.
I'm saying get to the 10 seed. That's 10.
But I think that's more an indictment on the roster, not his individual performance. Which
then he stopped caring, and he's like, I'm just gonna score points and go for the scoring title. And to me, it's like you're better than that, bro.
Are you?
Yes, he is, because he has been throughout his whole career. And then this year he decided to
Y'all's king. He's your king.
This year he decided to be selfish, and now he wants to act like he wasn't behind the Russell Westbrook shit, and now he wants to act like he's not doing the now he wants to act like he's not doing the thing again where he's in the last year of a contract or the fourth year of an original contract because he signed the extension, and that he's not going to fucking blow it up again on the way out like he did in Cleveland, like he did in Miami, like he did in Cleveland, and like he's about to do right now. Like he does this shit all the time.
Yo, if the Lakers smart, you trade Anthony Davis and LeBron right now and
get smart. We know that.
They're not smart,
but they're not smart. But
Dex, let me ask you. Stay on this DeRozan versus LeBron. To me, so do you value the game? One of them is the games played, which was like 76 for DeRozan to 50 whatever for LeBron, and the team performance, right? So Chicago was 46 and 36, and LeBron's team we already talked about.
What's your question?
That doesn't mean anything to you?
It does mean something to me. I guess what I'm valuing is, and I'm not trying to get caught up too much in it, but I do think, whether you think, to Brian's point, LeBron was chasing numbers and stopped giving a fuck. Stat padding,
not impactful stats,
right? He was trying to go for the scoring title. What else the hell are you going to do on that garbage ass team? If I was him, I'd go for the scoring title too, right? Look,
they could have won one more game. One more game.
Right.
I will finish and say
Kobe would have played.
That's true. That I agree. That is true. Kobe. But so would Larry Bird. But I will say is, I will say this point. I could admit where I'm wrong, and I think there was some oversight from me on this in terms of not putting DeRozan over LeBron. That's the thing I'd have a problem. That's the thing I would have there.
You could change it right now.
I could change it right now. You know what? We get LeBron up out of here. Get out of here, LeBron. No, because I do. No, when somebody makes a case for me and I think something's wrong, I'm going to say it's wrong. Because I do think Murph makes a good point. There's value in, we could joke about the winning and them not making the playoffs, but there's value in that he definitely was available for more games and put up, at least you could have DeRozan on the outside or inside the MVP conversation.
Through February, right? He was top 5 in
February. MVP. I think he dipped a lot off. And to DeRozan's dip, let's be fair on some of that. Some of that came from no Lonzo Ball, no Caruso. He's asked to do more even on the defensive end than he was early in the season. So his stats did take a bit of a dip. And while I might say he wasn't outstandingly impressive on the offensive end, which I think you would see, his numbers took a hit because of that, but there's reason to be justified for it, and he was available. So here's what I'm going to do. We're going to remove LeBron from the second team. We're going to get him up out of here. We'll put him on Murph's fourth team. That's what we'll do.
Look at that.
DeRozan did drop. He was dropped. He averaged 28 on very good percentages.
Very efficient play too.
So it's not like it couldn't have taken that big a dip.
Yeah, right. The efficiency wins of the team. I'm going to drop LeBron out of here. I'm going to make Jarod happy. Jarod should just jump up and dance around in his room right now because we're going to put Kevin Durant up to the second team with his 35 and 18 when he played, all that stuff.
No, they are what they are. I just didn't care.
Look, if Durant stayed healthy, like,
of course,
he might win MVP this year. You know,
listen,
of course.
But speaking of self-sabotaging superstars and who you surround yourself with, he has that dude on his team.
He gets an F. I tell you that all the time. He gets an F- just like LeBron for roster construction. How the hell are you going to tie your career to that lunatic in Kyrie Irving?
Larry Bird never did that. But
stop playing. Man. Stop it.
Robert Parrish was a noble man.
I'm going to move Durant up to the second team. I'm going to put DeRozan in that other spot, Murph. The rest of my team forward, I also had Jimmy Butler. Be happy, Brian. Center, I have Rudy Gobert, Chris Paul, and Donovan Mitchell on the third team.
Oh wow.
That's how
the Utah guys were like among my last cuts.
And I penalized Utah. Just like I was like, I wanted to penalize the Utah guys and Trey, the three of them. I was like, I don't like any of y'all's energy this whole season. Like the three of y'all. But
Jarod, you had Jared Allen over Bam Adebayo, and I just want to know why.
I did, because I just felt like Jared Allen's overall impact was just better this year. Like, I get it, all the defensive stuff you gave me, but if you look at, like, that Cleveland team should not have been good. Like, but all of a sudden, it's like, they were third. They got up to third at one point when they were fully healthy. He goes down, and all of a sudden, they start nosediving. I'm like, there's a big reason for it.
He was close for me, too, though. Like, all defense and whatever, and the injury.
And because Miami, and this is not, it's like Phoenix, right? It's like, how are you punishing the team that's number one in the league? It's like, because no matter who you guys miss, how the fuck you still the number one team in the league? Because going back to my Durant point, Durant goes out, Nets are a disaster. Heat lose whoever, we keep winning. Suns lose whoever, we keep winning, right? Like, so I'm like, well, that's because the sum of your parts, right, are greater than your whole, right? So that's you know.
And I think Allen's numbers, his straight up numbers, I think are better than Adebayo's, but they're not. But I mean, if you look at the offensive numbers, they're better. Like percentage.
Well, yeah, because baby hooks and shit. But you know what I'm saying? Like,
even win share. You know what I'm saying? Like, this motherfucker, like, I don't know.
Well, he doesn't. But here's the thing: like, if you're a center and like a lot of your baskets are, but like, yes, he'll come out and shoot an occasional mid-range jumper or whatever. But my point is that, like, his offense is pretty simplistic compared to Bam. Right. So yeah, Bam's going to be less efficient. Well, and like, Rudy Gobert is very efficient, and he typically only scores the ball like a couple of different ways.
But
Mitchell Robinson too. Mitchell Robinson, I think, led the league in like offensive rating one year. You know what I mean?
Allen out rebounded Bam. He had more blocks.
Yeah, because Bam be on the perimeter locking shit up. Here's the thing: like, there are guys who are really good at rim protecting. Bam doesn't let you get to the rim, right? There's something to be said for that. Like, if he's going out on you in the perimeter, like, you're not even getting to the paint. So it's not even like, oh, he's great at guarding the paint. It's like, he'll come out and you won't even get to the fucking paint. Kyrie Irving tried. Steph Curry tried. Like, a lot of these dudes have tried. Now, it's not like he's unassailable. Like, occasionally. I mean,
right. Let's also, like, when is that in the shot clock? Like, come on. If he got to guard them all game, like, it ain't going to be that. Like, it ain't going to be.
I don't know if he could lock Kyrie.
That wouldn't be smart basketball, like, scheming either.
Agreed. You know? That's just my point. It's like, all right, yeah, he does his thing. No,
but what I'm saying is, like, if you want to do the switch or whatever, like, he's never at a disadvantage.
No,
man. Wait till.
But I give Bam credit for being on the number one team in the East compared to what Jared Allen was on the 8th team in the East. That's why I go Bam ahead of him.
Man, I can't wait for next year when the Knicks come back and the Knicks is doing all this shit. I'm voting them in all these awards. Man, y'all gonna be so salty.
Vote all your guys, man. Vote your guys.
Are we for executive of the year? Are we giving LeBron that award?
Him and KD should have to give money back for the teams they put together. They should get money taken away from them for the process they put together.
Yeah, or give them defensive player of the year because they blocked a lot of opportunities for their teams. There you go.
Who gets the whatever it is, J. Walter Kennedy citizenship or whatever the fuck award? Who gets that? Are we done here?
Yeah, we're done. I don't know.
Yeah, who gets the citizenship award? I don't know, man.
Who's a good citizen out there? None of them. I don't know.
I can tell you who won't get it. Kyrie Irving.
The joke entered my head too, and I'm like, somebody's gonna say it.
What do you mean? He's standing up for the people. He's a man of the people.
No.
The mandates, man.
That man out here not caring about the people's health. All right, this was a fun one. We went long.
Yes, sir.
I even made a mistake. I put LeBron on all NBA teams, and then I took it back. See? You
it's all good, man.
Now, wait. Let me ask you guys this: the official All NBA team, does he make it?
Yes.
Oh, of course.
They're not going to leave him off.
You know,
he's going to be on the third team.
His media fanboys will 100%.
LeBron will make it. Trey will make it. There might not be any Heat players on All NBA. I don't know.
That's crazy.
That would be wild.
That would be crazy.
First of all,
wow.
I didn't think Butler deserved it last year, and they put him on there.
I think Butler deserves it more this year than last year. I do too. I think that's fair. But I think if you leave Jimmy Butler off this year, that's a bad job.
Last year, I gave it to him taking into account that he lost 12 pounds in the middle of the year because of COVID and then came back and dropped 21-7-7.
You're
the only one who knows that, though. So, you know what I'm saying?
No, I mean, that was recorded. That was funny, but that was recorded.
Yeah, you also just love the Heat. That's it. No, but seriously, if they leave Butler off, I do think that's a bad job. I will definitely say that. Can you imagine if they leave Kevin Durant off? Yo, Jarod is going to be rioting in these streets.
The game, they both played around 56 games. Both of them missed a lot of games.
I think Towns will get into. I think he does.
Towns getting in.
Towns should be in. Any chance that Murph's boy Harden makes the team?
Absolutely not.
He might. He got some fanboys too. He has some fanboys.
Who the hell you putting over him on these teams?
Listen, I'm saying.
Maury's out there writing letters right now.
You're right. You're right. All the letters. You're right.
I think, but there are some people.
I put him over Trey. What if they put him over Trey?
I'm not going to say any names. But there's an infamous occurrence of an NBA writer out there voting for Defensive Player of the Year and having Andre Drummond and Hassan Whiteside on his ballot. A writer that we all know, who is no longer on Twitter. I'm not going to mention his name, but if any Net fans are hearing this, you know exactly who I'm talking about. And look, there are some people who are just going to look at numbers and be like, I know I've heard Harden hasn't been as good, but 22, 8, and 9 or whatever the fuck he has. And then
you're not watching the games. That's terrible.
But that ain't.
I don't think he gets
even good though. Like that's not even good. Like compared to the other guards that are ahead of him.
Well, we know that a lot of people, not a lot. I'm not going to say that. There are some people who have votes that don't deserve them. Right.
100%.
Before we get up out of here, who do we think is going to win these play-in games coming up? We got Nets, Cavs. What's the schedule? Nets, Cavs tomorrow.
And then Timberwolves, Clippers.
Which I'm excited to see that game. Who do you got winning those games?
Nets and Timberwolves.
Nets, Timberwolves, Brian.
Nets and Timberwolves, assuming Kawhi Leonard doesn't come back.
He's not coming back for that game. You're not back for that game.
Murph?
I'm a wrestling fan. You know what I'm saying? Like,
give me
is that Kawhi's music?
What'd you say, Murph?
Nets and Clippers. I still don't trust the Timberwolves completely.
Yeah, I don't blame you for not trusting
when you start believing in the Clippers over the Timberwolves, whoo, that's
Beverly revenge game.
That's amazing. And so the other game would be Hawks, Hornets on Wednesday. You got Hawks. And then the last game would be Spurs and Pelicans. You got Pelicans and Hawks?
Yeah, Pelicans, Hawks.
Murph?
I got Hawks, and who knows with that other one.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like both them teams are just ugh.
Ryan, who you got?
Pelicans and Hawks.
I'm going Hawks, Spurs in that one. But yeah, who knows in that game?
I don't trust the Hornets, man. I've tried, but
they can't guard at all.
They can't guard anybody. I mean, neither really.
That game is gonna whatever the over is.
Score like nobody's
bang that over.
Whatever the over is.
Bang that over. Bang that over.
Like
All right.
400. Yep, over.
LaMelo and Trey.
That would give us Celtics, Nets, and Heat versus Hawks in the East.
I like that.
And in the West, it would give us Grizzlies, Timberwolves, which is interesting.
NBA TV series.
And then
No, ESPN. They're already on ESPN.
Oh, they did.
Game one's on ESPN.
Okay,
Grizzlies, John Morant, they're gonna try to
I would hope.
Grizzlies,
is John Collins out for the season?
I don't know if it's like undecided if he's coming back or not. Like they haven't.
That's the thing that I think the Hornets, like if the Hornets get hot and they could, like that could be scary, but they're also on the road. And then the other series would be Clippers versus Phoenix. Assuming the Clippers even win. I think they would in the subsequent game. I think the 7 and 8s should win, but look, man, shit happens in single elimination. So
teams get tight.
So who you got? Oh yeah, you got the Hawks coming up. That's right.
Teams get tight, man.
Hawks, Heat, and Nets Celtics will be really good. That'll be.
I think the Hawks could win game 1, and then after that,
shout out to the Bucks for tucking the Nets. Shout out to the Bucks. Shout out.
Listen. Taking the Bulls, who were let's everybody, nobody's really scared of them. You like, and it's close travel wise. Milwaukee to Chicago, that's like 30 minutes.
45-minute flight. Yep.
Right.
Whatever.
I mean
that's a no-brainer.
The Bucks are geniuses.
That's a smart move.
Like, yo, Boston. Jaylen Brown's not vaccinated. All right, cool. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna sit everybody. We're gonna get fucking smacked by the Cavs. Y'all motherfuckers' choice. Play the Nets or play the Raptors. Where you have to go.
Genius move by the Bucks.
Genius by the Bucks. And they're also telling Boston, yeah, we don't care. We'll beat you in 6. We don't need the game 7 home game.
We don't need that. Also, I think the other series the two series I'm really intrigued about coming up, the 4-5 matchups, Philly and Toronto. I think Toronto could win that.
Raps in 6.
Raps in 6. I like that. I like that picture, Rod.
I tweeted at this today.
Then what do we got? Mavs and Utah. Mavs
Utah
in 5. Mavs in 5.
It might.
The Doncic injury, we got to wait on that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Because
if they don't have Luka, then all bets.
No Luka. It might be crazy, but
could you imagine? So remember last year, right? Nets went up 2-0 in Milwaukee. Everybody's like, all right, Bud about to get fired. It was all right, all end of the world.
Don't do it.
No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is Luka gets injured, right? He don't play. Utah wins, and somehow they find themselves in the conference.
I knew that's where you were going.
Yo, that's the thing about this league.
Wait, wouldn't Utah have to play Phoenix though?
But if let's say they take Phoenix, to 6 or 7 games,
and then
something.
Chris Paul gets injured as he will.
Damn, why you gotta be fucking rooting for my guy to get injured, man?
I mean, doesn't he do it every playoffs? I don't know.
That's the thing. So let's say this before we get off. Injuries and COVID and all this shit.
That will determine. I
think it's going to be more of a factor than we'd want. And
it always is. Every season it is. Every season injuries decide.
Yo, if Utah makes a run to the finals, or
all of a sudden Quinn gets an extension. Donovan and Rudy are best buds. They're going on vacation together and shit. Like what the?
Well, Donovan will need to average about 35 for them to have any chance. I think.
I mean, he could.
Oh, yeah, it's the Denver series.
And also hope somebody on that team can guard in the perimeter. That's the problem.
Y'all think Denver could beat Golden State?
Yes.
No.
I don't think they will, but I think they can. I don't think they will. I wouldn't.
They don't have enough,
I think they could win 2 games because Jokic can make things.
What if Curry is like? We're not sure if Curry's 100%.
Nah, they can still win.
If I'm Jokic, I don't want to deal with Draymond Green.
Yeah, Draymond's annoying as hell.
Draymond's gonna kick him in his nuts. Yeah, he's gonna fucking try to suplex him at one point.
The biggest question is if everybody seems to like the Raptors over the Sixers, which I do. If that happens, and then Murph's boy Harden looks bad, oh man, we was talking about that extension in the group chat today.
If he looks bad.
Yeah, I don't know.
Look, I pulled up his numbers this year just to make sure he wasn't going to be, all NBA. Those shooting numbers.
Ugly.
And when you watch,
and it matches the eye test. The eye test is even worse.
When you watch, it's worse.
Well, Murph, we watched him all season with the Nets. I'm like, what is this guy doing?
He's just trying to get bailed out.
Yeah, he's just throwing shots up at the rim.
Which is what I was saying.
That's what I was saying about Morey. Like
you watch this.
It's your job. It's your job to know what's going on.
That's his BFF, man. They boys.
Like how are they 2 hours away and you don't know how he's playing?
Love is blind, man. Love is blind.
Love is blind.
You see what you want to see. You know what I'm saying? It's like that old Mario Winans song. He didn't want to know. He didn't want to know what was going on, so he wasn't looking. He wasn't looking. He didn't want to know.
Also, Harden played himself too because he would have had an easier. We always said he needs 2 stars, not 1, to get a championship. At least if he was still in Brooklyn, he wouldn't have to do as much.
And he did have Chris Paul and Dwight Howard and shit. So like he had stars. Dwight Howard was still really good at that point.
And then last thing, watch out. Your boy Ben Simmons might be back for the playoffs. Out there ramping it up in practice today.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see.
You can't throw him out. He hasn't played since the playoffs. You're gonna throw him out there in a playoff game? Come on.
I mean,
10 minutes. I'll take 10, 15 minutes.
You know the Nets are masters of subterfuge and like
take
throwing. They be lying about injuries and circulating videos for propaganda and shit. You know how they do.
I think it's fair to question: was Ben Simmons even really injured?
Yeah, I think he had.
No,
you think so?
I think.
I don't know.
What would be what's the purpose of?
Yeah, what's the purpose to sit out for what?
The only thing I don't know what
Ben Simmons' purpose
thing I'm thinking about is it's got to be something with Philly where he didn't want to come back really quickly because he said all the mental health stuff. So if he came back and automatically,
we way past that now. Way past that now.
And nobody cares. Okay, like
there's also that
when it's all said and done, like.
I don't.
Him getting his money, I don't even think that even plays into it really. Like, like even if he played, that doesn't mean you didn't have mental issues before that.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. I just don't. You never know people wanting to protect their image or trying to protect their image, and the whole thing now with him with the money. I agree with you. I don't think most people care.
My thing is he had back injuries in Philly.
He did.
Yes,
right. So, but my thing is how is that not taken care of? Like I'm not saying that. I don't know how he got injured. He's had that issue. So you go a year without taking care of that shit. Like what's wrong?
What I think is that surgery is like a nuclear option, and they're trying to avoid that. And when he started practicing again with the Nets to get ready, he aggravated it, ramping up, and they were like, "Yo, this shit." Because again, and they knew because the Nets had the medicals. And they're like, Ben, we talk about surgery. I don't think he wants to get surgery. Who wants to get back surgery? Nobody. That's not an ideal thing to do.
MPJ tried not to, and
right, he had to get it right. Like it's not a good look. So I think he kept trying to like avoid it.
6'10" light skin thing. I don't know.
Yo, on that note, you got Murph taking shots at R&B singers and 6'10" light skinned brothers.
I'm just saying.
And Murph is like, yo, they kind of merged together. I can't really tell the difference there. Like, there might be some overlap.
Back issues, okay.
You said 6'10" R&B.
Yo, that is it for this episode of the A-Hotel Podcast. I think this is our longest episode ever, Brian. Episode 220.
Oh, no. Wifey gonna be mad.
Might have to break it into 2 parts, y'all. Right? You might have to break this into 2 parts. It's a lot. It's
a lot for people to digest, or people just turn it on after they realize I picked LeBron to be on second team. That's probably what will happen. Or they might turn it off when they heard Murph and Jarod going at it.
You should have hit the mute button, especially when you're talking about KD.
No, I couldn't do that to y'all this time. But if that happens again, we got to give y'all the around the horn treatment, man. We got to do that there. One day, Jarod and Murph will settle the debate on Larry Bird and Kevin Durant. One day he'll settle that debate. It
was written.
It was written.
Chill, bro. Chill. We're not doing this.
That is Jarod Hector. Check out his work on True Hoop. Check out my man Jamal Murphy, the Black Catologist. His great work on Andscape and all the stuff he does. Also check out Brian Fonseca. He's about to hop on another show, 5 Reasons Sports. He'll be talking about the Heat, so he's going to sleep really good tonight. He'll talk enough about the Heat.
Hopefully, I haven't been getting sleep like that lately.
Yeah, because you're stressed out about your team getting bounced in the first round of the playoffs. I don't have that stress this year. I don't got that stress at all. I'm good, but I'm miserable because I'm a Knicks fan. I'm Dexter Harry. Until next time on Ain't Hard to Tell podcast, y'all.
Let's go Mets.
Let's go Knicks.